All right, sorry about that wait, guys. Hope you guys are doing all right tonight. Still waiting on Paula. The boys are still awake, unfortunately. So, oh well. But anyway, so I might begin painting this tonight. Probably can't even see it. It's one of those books from Hobby Lobby or whatever the heck, or Joann's or whatever. Just a little wooden cheapo book. The reason I'm going to do it is it's going to store all of my tactical tokens. So I've got varieties of them. So planning to paint it. It wasn't that long? All right, good. Planning on painting this and then putting my sticker on it and then doing a clear coat over it to protect it and keep it on there for however long. So that's the idea. Which, by the way, if you want to order stickers or shirts or any of that stuff, the link to the store is down below. I'm going to be looking to get some new merchandise up there soon, but we have a lot of stuff over there. If you want to go check it out, get a few different shirts, sweatshirts, stickers, cool stuff like that. But yeah, so here's the progress so far on this dragon. Paula has painted it Sonic blue so far. Ford blue. I don't know. We'll see how it comes out, though. I'm looking forward to seeing it in all its glory. But yeah, so anyways, today I would like to wait for Paula to really get into this discussion. We are going to be talking about spells in, maybe it's not just Dungeons and Dragons, but in Dungeons and Dragons that annoy you as a DM. And this came up because somebody had asked me was it my Discord? I think it was my Discord. They had asked me, do I think magic is too powerful in Dungeons and Dragons? And I asked them what they meant, and they said, well, spells that allow you to just completely bypass things, for example. So it got me looking at spells. I made a list of 14 spells. Should probably pull up my document. I know there's more. There was one I was just checking out the other day. It was like phantasmal something or other. I don't know, some kind of an illusion spell. But yeah, so I'm just going to tell you the spells offhand that come to mind with this. And we can discuss it throughout the stream. And I'll probably repeat it when Paula comes out here. But the exact question is, does magic make it too easy to bypass parts of the game? Which spells in particular make things too easy? The fly spell, augury, spider climb, wish, command, rope trick, Leoman's tiny hut, misty step, or any kind of teleportation. Goodberry, create food and water, zone of truth, legend lore, banish, counterspell. Those were the ones that came to mind without cracking a book open. So dark vision could be something we talk about. So I'm opening my player's handbook. I'm going to go look at the spells. Because again, I do get frustrated by a lot of spells. Dark vision doesn't bother me. In fact, I forget sometimes to ask my players what they're using as a light source. So sometimes my players who can't see in the dark are just roaming through seeing everything, and we just forget. So yeah. Ooh, excuse me. Actually, I think it would be kind of nice to get rid of dark vision altogether, to be honest. But yeah, and then only make it like a spell or something that uses up a resource. I think that'd be awesome. Maybe a wizard or somebody can cast dark vision for players. Everyone has dark vision, but cats don't. Do cats not have dark vision in 5e? Do cats in real life actually have dark vision? I don't think they can see in pitch black. I think they have really good sight and they can see. They need some little bit, even if it's like moonlight outside. I think they need some kind of light. I don't think they can see in complete pitch black darkness. I could be wrong, though. Cats are pretty crazy. They run around and play in the middle of the night sometimes, so maybe they do. But yeah, I always thought that they were able to see because they pulled the, what little light there was. Excuse me. Really tired, man. Whew. Hoping I get a good night's rest tonight. So I'm just going to look through some of these spells in the core rulebook. And if any of these to you seem OP, let me know. Bard spells. Cantrips. Let's start with cantrips. Blade Ward. Dancing Lights. Friends. Light. Mage Hand. Mending. Message. Minor Illusion. Prestidigitation, True Strike, and Vicious Mockery. Yeah, I'm not surprised they can see better than humans. I knew that. I tend to be the only person not using dark vision in our game. Let me guess, you play a human, Flynn? Don't think dark vision needs to go. It just doesn't need to be on every race apart from like 5. I don't think it needs to go. I just think it would be more interesting, a more interesting game if there was no dark vision and it was a magical thing you could get or a very rare thing you could get, then I think it would be awesome. O'Neill's keeping the torchmakers in business. Or he's keeping his cantrip, his other characters using cantrips for him. My cat has the special power to sleep only on the clean clothes. Nice. So some of the prestidigitation can be pretty powerful in my opinion. But again, that comes down to player use, not because the spell itself is powerful. But you can use prestidigitation for quite a bit. Light, again, being a cantrip, is kind of, again, I think stuff like that would be better as a resource, in my opinion. I think it'd be more fun. And then you could really dwindle, especially when you're talking about within 5e, you could dwindle down some of those resources a little bit easier if they had to use a light spell or cast dark vision on a character or so on and so forth. I think that would be kind of interesting in my opinion. I tend to play a lot of humans myself. I like to start with the feet. I also like dwarves. I like Dragonborn just because I just think the idea visually of a Dragonborn is cool. Mechanically, I think Dragonborn wasn't done really, not really well. It was done fine. It's just, I feel like one of the lesser powerful races. I actually think it'd be cool if it had dark vision. since we're talking about dark vision, I think Dragonborn should have dark vision. But yeah, even message. I think message is pretty impactful in the game. Go back to infravision from 2E. Predator vision was fun. Let me ask a question. I am not up on the latest D&D. Oh, you deleted it. I can't answer your question if you delete it, Victor. I think 5e was done really well. Was talking to people today about XP and milestone leveling, and people have their opinions, and they think that the way the leveling was designed was terrible. They gave the playtesters exactly what they wanted. Everybody from the original playtest of D&D Next said they wanted fast level progression for the first few levels. They gave it to us. I think they did a great job. Tim says it may be the cantrips that make it seem OP. Dwarves and halfling myself. Halflings are fine. I don't have a problem with that. So if I play something like a halfling, though, I like to be like a feral barbarian. That's how I imagine my halfling when I play it usually. I just love, in fact, I love playing little characters, but then play them like big badasses, like Napoleon Complex. Victor says, do races with dark vision have problem in bright light? And I am not up on the current 5e. Not necessarily. Drow do. Other than that, in the core rulebook, I don't think any of the dark vision races have issues in bright light. So it's a whole separate thing for sunlight sensitivity, I think is what it's called. There's also, so nobody can see in magical darkness unless you have devil sight. And as far as I know, the only people that can get that are, there's like, I think a couple demons that have it maybe. Demons or devils, I can't remember exactly. And as a warlock, Pact of the Old Ones, or not Pact of the Old Ones, but Old Ones patron, you can see in magical darkness. And that's why one day I really want to play a warlock who casts magical darkness, is Pact of the Blade, is the Old Ones patron, and he's basically a frontline warlock. That's what I want to play. That is like my big bucket list thing. And everyone else can be squishy and stay back, and I'll just cast magical darkness, go up in there, give them disadvantage to attack me because they can't see me. I can see them perfectly clear. Probably do a level dip into rogue, so I can get the sneak attack damage, you know, all that good stuff. Yeah, sunlight sensitivity is what it was called. So, yeah. I think 5e is a great storytelling version. No negatives in full light. Small character, big ego. Exactly, Tim. So, Tim, I agree. I think 5e is an amazing game. I do. I don't think there is a perfect system, but I love the simplicity of 5e. The only thing, there's only like a couple minor things I would change. One of them is I wish within your character building, you had more customization. Rather than when you pick a class or you pick a race, you just get everything that goes associated with that. And then a couple minor choices here and there. I wish you had to pick and choose out of those things. And as you leveled up, you could pick and choose more things from that. Kind of like how Pathfinder does it. I do like the customization in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. And I think if they did that within 5e, yes, you would still be superheroes by 5th or 6th level, but you would actually have a few less abilities. Not much, but you have a few less. So I am working on something myself. I'm changing how, some of the skills and things like that. I'm trying to work in where first level you don't have a lot of stuff and you get to choose something from your race, you get to choose something from your class, you get to choose something from your background. As you level up, you get to choose different things from those as well, so on and so forth, until, you get to higher levels. I think to me, that's more what I would like. But I love how the rules are simple within 5e. Hi.
Hello.
Nice of you to join us. You were in the fancy robe.
It's not my fault. Your children didn't want to go to sleep.
You could have let them argue in bed.
So
it would have been fine. They'll just keep themselves up and be tired tomorrow.
I don't think it's going to work that way.
Oh, but it could. So
it's not going to.
I'm going to tell you what we're talking about.
Okay.
This is the topic for the night.
But is it though?
It is.
I don't even have paintbrushes. What kind of setup is this?
You didn't come out here to get what you needed. It's down to your right. Everything's to your right.
Those are big paintbrushes.
There's a bunch of paintbrushes in there.
Where's...
Oh, there's other paintbrushes right here, I guess.
Thank you.
I forgot. All right. So anyways, the topic for tonight is, does Magic make it too easy to bypass parts of the game? If so, which spells in particular make things too easy? And I made a list of 14 off the top of my head that I thought of.
What spells make it too easy?
So the easier way to think about it is when you're running a game as a DM, what spells that players use irritate you or bother you or ruin your prep or any of those things?
Oh, I don't know.
You know there's a bunch. You know it.
I don't know. You know what I just dislike?
Oh, here's a lock. And they cast knock. Oh,
when
it's open.
When people just use the same thing over and over again. That's my only pet peeve.
It just makes it boring.
The same thing over and over again, and it's just like, did you even look at the other spells that you have? Is that the only spell you can cast?
Right.
I don't know. That's my only pet peeve. I don't feel like there are spells.
But is that a pet peeve because it's boring? Like it's like too repetitive, it gets boring?
Yeah, because what kind of boring character are you?
Coming from the girl who does card trick all the time or whatever. In our Descent game, card trick.
What are you talking about? It was my
not
only
anymore.
Attack option.
It's not.
It was my only offense option.
Bill from Roll Stats would disagree with you.
Bill doesn't know what kind of AC that character had. It was my only option, Bill.
Bill's not here.
All right? How did these go on again?
They don't. You have to... Nope, that's backwards. Do you not understand how wings work? No. Wings go like this.
Thank you.
Nope, wrong side. You really don't know how a wing looks on a creature, do you?
Whatever. I'm trying to figure out what color stuff is.
It looks like a shoulder blade. Think about it like a shoulder blade.
This is.
That's how wings kind of look.
About that right color. It's a little dark.
So from a DM perspective, Tim says, Arcane Eye can be a pain sometimes. Yeah, isn't that thing you can send ahead and it can like fit into like 1-inch spaces and see everything and it's invisible? Yeah, Arcane Eye is pretty much a pain in the butt. In fact, I'm going to put that on my list of spells. I'm making a list. I'm going to keep a running list. So I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to go through the book. And I started with the Bard spell list since that's first. And we're at cantrips. So under here, I'm just going to read them out loud. If any of these stand out to you as possibly being annoying as a GM, you just pipe in and let me know.
I feel like they're not going to be, though, because it doesn't bother me.
You know, at all?
No.
All right, we'll get into some examples of how it could bother you in a minute. Blade Ward. Seems fine on the surface.
No, that's fine.
Dancing Lights.
It's fine.
Friends.
Fine.
What's that spell even do?
Just makes...
Removes hostility?
More likely to... It's just like a charm spell, basically. I think.
I'm going to look at it and read it.
It's not.
It might be annoying to me. None of the spells are a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
None of them are game breaking to the point where I'm like, ban them. But for the sake of the discussion tonight, all right.
It's not a big deal.
Range is self. Concentration up to 1 minute. For the duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks directed at one creature of your choice that isn't hostile toward you. Oh, that's definitely not a big deal.
I told you. You don't believe me.
No, I just don't know what the spell does, and you just said it's a charm spell. That was not helpful. So I decided to read it to see if it could be game breaking.
Okay, it's not game breaking.
Although it's basically a automatic success if you have a 20 charisma bard, unless you roll double crit fails. That's the only way, right? Again, light is fine. I just kind of wish light and dark vision used up a resource. Mage Hand is fine. It can be in some situations used in ways that bypass your traps or things like that, but it's not a problem.
That's just like getting through.
I understand that.
You know?
I get that. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying certain spells sometimes can ruin your prep. Or if you're, say you come up with some really cool thing. It took you like an hour to plan this situation. And they literally bypass it in 2 minutes at the table. Something you thought would take a little longer, a little bit more thought, because of one spell.
That's poor planning on your part. That's not their fault. That's not the spell's fault. Like,
I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. I'm just saying it can be frustrating.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
Sure, but I'm not going to get mad if they kill the big bad guy quickly just because I didn't make him hard enough.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about killing a bad guy. Most of these spells are utility spells that I am talking about.
I know, I'm just saying.
In other words, you just don't even want to talk about this topic because most spells.
I'm just saying, I don't know. I guess I don't have one. Like, somebody threw out an example of, like, something that bothers you a
Arcane
lot.
Eye. So, using Arcane Eye as the example, say you've prepared a dungeon, okay? It's going to be like a 4-session dungeon, and they send the Arcane Eye in just from outside.
I don't know what Arcane Eye is.
Okay. So, anyways, well, here, I'll explain it to you. So, they can all wait outside, send Arcane Eye in. It's invisible. It floats around, so it's not making any noise. And unless something can see invisibility, it's not going to get spotted. Now, that's assuming you don't have any doors, right? But if you have doors, and if the gap underneath the doors is only an inch, well, it can squeeze through there. So anyways, it can move through your whole dungeon. Basically, now you give the players the map. They know all the things that are in there visually.
Yeah, but
that's that.
Like, what kind of what class is that? What class?
Wizard. I think that's a wizard spell.
So wizards have to select their spells and prepare it, correct?
Sure. So what? They get a bunch of them. They get more than anybody else.
Yeah, but they don't have access. They're not like druids. They don't have access to everything.
So here's the
correct?
thing. It is a 4th level spell, so they
I'm
get
just
it at
saying,
8th level.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you know about it ahead of time. You know they're going to try and pull something
Not necessarily.
like that.
I never know any of my players' spells. I trust my players to pick their spells and do what they need to do. That's it. I'm not going to micromanage spell selection.
Yeah, but, like,
once they use it once, I know.
Look at it, you know.
How often have you asked me for my spells? You've never asked me for my spells in prep.
Yeah, because I don't care.
Right.
See, that's the thing, though. I'd never complain about it. I'd just be like, okay, here you go. Monsters move around. It don't matter.
See, Paula's no good for the discussion. She's like, yeah, no, nothing's a big deal. It's all fine.
I mean, like, it's meant to stump them. Like, things are meant to stump them and stuff like that. But just because they play you, man, that doesn't make it, you know, I don't know, a big deal, right?
Again, I don't think it's a big deal. You're misunderstanding the point of the discussion.
Well, you said what bothers you. I guess I
right,
just don't
and your answer was
that...
nothing, and that's it. There's your contribution.
Yeah, that's my contribution, guys. So how's this blue looking?
To proceed to then tell me that nothing should bother me. Okay, Victor says, yeah, Bill. Nom says, blue dragons may bicker, but we're actually fiercely loyal and excellent parents to their young. Forgotten Realms Wiki. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. I don't know a lot about dragon lore, to be honest. Victor says, Arcane Eye seems like a camera drone. Yeah, kind of. The only thing about it is it can't hear anything. It's literally just visual stuff. So all it can do is see all sorts of stuff. And that's it. And it's basically like using a familiar, but with more range. You know how like you can send a familiar ahead and see through their eyes or whatever?
Yeah.
And their senses and all that. That's basically what it is. Drakenstone Castle, welcome, buddy. Says, check out Tester's Color Shift paints, Tattered Angels, Color Wash tints, and Pearl X pigment powders. Great way to add sparkle to those dragon scales. Oh, she's definitely going to add sparkle at the end.
I know. Tattered Angels. We actually have some of their products. I don't know if it's out here, but they're inside. I have a bunch of their stuff.
Tim says, that's the part. Yep, that's all. Yes, they're mostly utility. If the players outsmart me, oh well. Yeah, it's a big spell. Yes, not a big deal. I agree. None of this is like, ban it from your game. I would never say ban it from your game. But like, command could totally change all sorts of stuff, you know? Like, there's just spells that can throw a wrench in what you thought was going to happen to an extreme degree.
If you have spells that you're like, oh man, it would bug me if they did that, then you should probably look. Like, you should be the DM who looks at their spell list. That's all I'm saying.
No. Why? Why would you do that? So, okay, say you look at their spell list. What are you going to do? You're going to change what you prep so you purposely don't let them use their spells?
No, just so that you're aware that it's going to happen. That way you're not
There's a big door you can't get through with your arcane eye.
I'm just saying.
Blue wormlings were actually quite cute, but they were quick to taunt any other creature, and even quicker to hunt small desert creatures for food. Is lip reading a skill in 5e? So you can actually do lip reading. I don't remember how. It's not really like lip reading, but yeah. There are ways to do that, yes. Arcane Eye would be better for spying. Yeah, it's basically to scout ahead. That's what I would use it for. Just
what's the duration on that?
It's a long time. Here, I'll read Arcane Eye.
Just tell me the duration.
Well, I'm going to read it anyway because people are asking. So Arcane Eye. Okay, so the range is only 30 feet, so that's not that bad, but it is up to an hour. You create an invisible magical eye within range that hovers in the air for the duration. You mentally receive visual information from the eye. What, for 1 hour? Are you talking about 30 feet? 30 feet's not bad.
Yeah, 30 feet's not bad at all. You made it sound like this thing's going to make its way through an entire multi-level dungeon or something. It's not going to do that. You only have it for 1 hour.
No, but it'll always be a room or two ahead of you unless you have a large chasm. Or a large cavern, I mean. You mentally receive visual information for 30 feet. The eye can look in every direction. As an action, you can move the eye...
For an hour, though. Only for an hour.
Oh, no. As an action, you can move the eye up to 30 feet in any direction. There is no limit to how far away from you the eye can move. Oh. But it can't enter another plane of existence. A solid barrier blocks the eye's movement, but the eye can pass through an opening as small as 1 inch in diameter. So yeah, you can go through the whole dungeon. That's what I thought. I was like, why only 30 feet? But either way, even if it was less than that, I mean, you could still go room by room and inspect the next room before going into it, which could be a pain in the ass.
But again, it only lasts for an hour. It's only going to get so far.
An hour's a long time. It could easily inspect a whole dungeon.
Yeah, but at that level, do you think that you don't have things that can see through invisibility?
There's not that many things that see invisibility.
Well, there could be in your dungeon.
Well, yeah, I understand that. Hold person, yeah, that's another one that could be problematic at times. Just ask my bard about command. It's fantastic. Then it sucks when it get cast back. Yeah, or counterspell, and then counterspelling the counterspell. Maybe with an Arcana check. I wouldn't say Arcana would help you read lips, though. Unless they're casting a spell, maybe. You know, context clues with the mouth lip reading, maybe. Draken says, I would rule as a DM that your enemy could cast light into the arcane eye, blinding your wizard temporarily. Yes, but the problem is the eye is invisible. So they have to know the eye is there as it floats around. And, you know, it's not really making any noise unless it bumps into something. So yeah, it would be one of those things. Basically, if a player does that and my dungeon has no doors, I'm just going to hand them the map to the dungeon. I'll just hand them my prep notes. Here you go. Here's all the stuff you see in the dungeon. Didn't say it was earth-shattering. Yeah, I'm with you, Tim. I don't think any of us are saying these things are like earth-shattering. They can be a little bit problematic. They can ruin what you prepped or what you planned might happen. They put the game on easy mode sometimes. So some of the spells I said was the fly spell. So basically it gets rid of anything like pit traps. It gets rid of a lot of difficulties you might have. Again,
maybe,
not game breaking. I'm not saying it's game breaking. It just removes a ton of tools in your toolbox as a DM.
Yeah, but that's just a one person though. That's not that's not an area of effect, correct?
No, but you can cast fly on other people, I believe.
Yeah, but that's going to take a lot of spell slots.
Sure, but think about it. Why would you use fly? One, to scout around and see really far ahead, things that are out of range.
I've never been in a group where somebody's used fly to scout.
I haven't had a group that needed to use fly for scout because they had a flying companion, like a fucking Tressum cat or some shit.
We wouldn't use fly to scout ahead anyway.
Oh, you definitely have people in our Tyranny of Dragons game who would use fly to scout. 100%. Yes, it makes them a target, but at the same time, you know, you can see things. Like, you can bypass certain difficulties. Like, fly is an extremely useful spell that can bypass a ton of stuff.
I don't think we would have used that, though.
You wouldn't. I totally could see Chance doing it. I could totally see Bill doing it. Yes, I could see people doing that. I can
There
see
was
Martin
a
do it.
dragon flying around.
Correct.
Seems like a stupid idea.
That scenario would have been a stupid idea to fly. How often are dragons flying around?
It's called Tyranny of Dragons.
There are not a ton of dragons flying around throughout the campaign. It doesn't work like that.
Did Chance's first Tressum Cat character die or something?
That's his familiar. He has to get the resources to bring it back, remember? That's why he doesn't have it right now.
Oh, that's why he doesn't have it?
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering what happened to the cat.
Another spell.
I mean, you killed it like 87
No, I only
times,
killed it twice.
so
I only killed it twice.
4.
No,
there
it
was
like
at
twice.
least 4.
No, I think it was twice.
At least 4.
Twice. No, it was twice.
Whatever. I'm asking them next
Go
time.
ahead. You can go back and watch it and find out. Augury is one where it basically tells you if the decision you're going to make is a good or a bad one, I think. Isn't that how that works?
Oh, yeah, but it's not like...
Again, I'm not saying they're game breaking. So by casting gem and laid sticks, rolling dragon bones, laying out ornate cards, or employing some other divining tool, you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the result of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. The DM chooses from the following possible omens. So yeah, it basically tells you if you're going to make a good or bad decision, if what you're doing is a good or bad decision in the DM's eyes. It's like a get out of jail free card.
Like vague and up to interpretation.
Sure, I get that, but it's only a second level spell, so it's not using a huge resource.
Well, you can cast it as a ritual spell, I believe, correct?
It might be ritual. Yes, it is ritual, so you can do it for free over 10 minutes if you are a ritual caster. Paul says maybe perception check based on intelligence to read lips. I don't know, just thinking out text. Yeah, maybe something like that. At disadvantage, because maybe it's a hard thing to do. Luckily, not all parties are composed of high-level magic users only. True, but that's only 8th level before you get Arcane Eye.
Most people don't play super high, though. Most people play, like, 1st to 6th level over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
That's because their groups fall apart. But I don't think that's most groups. I think most groups stop around 10.
I mean, I've never played past 10.
That's because all of our groups have fallen apart because we've moved every single year we've been together.
Yeah, no, but
back and forth across state. Like,
before then, I'd never played above 10.
Yeah, but you mostly played AD&D, right? Or 3rd edition.
No,
Both of those had
3.5.
higher thresholds for leveling. Like, it took longer to level in those games. 5e, you level a lot quicker. Tim says, luckily, not all parties are composed. Yep, read that. Paul says, cast web in front of the player. There you go. You can do that. So, again, Augury, I think, is a good one. Spider climb, being able to just walk up a wall, that's kind of a big deal. But I don't think that one's too bad. That one, very minor. I don't think that would really bother me at all. The wish spell.
That's a high-level spell, though.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it isn't.
Plus,
wish can change your whole freaking campaign in 2 seconds.
There's so much room.
And it's a spell that any wizard can get.
There's so much room to screw players over with wish, though, I feel like.
You have to be able to think of something based on what they say to do that. And do you just want to screw them over every time? Either way, there are things from the wish spell that can change the whole campaign drastically. Like everything you prepped, throw it out the window with the wish spell.
But,
that's my point. I spend 4 hours prepping for a game, and then all of a sudden they cast wish and screw it all over. Your brother, for example, would say, okay, well, that was what I prepped tonight, so I'll see you guys in 4 weeks. I'm not like that, but there are DMs out there who are. Who won't wing it for a full session.
Didn't we schedule a Tomb of Annihilation game?
Yes, I believe so.
What day was that for?
I don't know. It's out like over a month, so it doesn't matter. It's like July or August. Because Erica was like, we need to schedule that so bad. Let's schedule it. Let's get it on the calendar. And so then I sent it out for like a few weeks out, and she's like, oh, we're busy for the next 2 months. Like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you saying we need to get this on the calendar for the next month or two when you aren't available for the next month or two.
Oh, okay.
Didn't make sense. But anyways. Command is one that can be frustrating. Again, not a big deal. But like, if you're trying to keep something from a player and maybe it's like a key or something, and that's like the whole purpose of what's been going on, and they're chasing these guys, and all of a sudden it's like, command, throw me the key or something. And they fail the check, so they throw the key at the players. There you go. You got rid of that chase scene. Not a huge deal, but yeah, there are players that use command a lot, though. Rope trick can be frustrating for people, but at the same time, it's a very easy thing to counter. Chance does it all the time.
I mean,
I only showed
true.
one time how easy it would be if I wanted to be a dick. And that's because they know where you went because you appear in the same room an hour later. So yeah, they're just going to wait you out and bring some reinforcements. So there's a good one for that. Also, you can always do like silence. You can always do anti-magic fields and stuff like that.
You wanted this to have yellow on it, right?
Yeah. Like a mustard yellow. Leoman's tiny hut can be frustrating. That's basically an 8-hour tent that is impossible to bypass. It's a guaranteed long rest. So that's one of them on my list. Victor says, I do like playing lower level PCs. Yeah, I think it's fun to play lower level, for sure. I think the problem is as you get higher in levels, it takes longer to resolve your turn. And I get bored when a session comes to a screeching halt. Especially if you play with a group that won't figure out what they're going to do before their turn. If everybody waits till their turn to figure out what they're going to do, like, oh, I don't know what spell I'm going to use. And then they spend the next, 5 minutes looking at their spells. That's frustrating. I like things to move quickly. Tim says, my players enjoy up to around 17th level. That's interesting. So do you play up that high very often? We haven't played a lot of high level campaigns. We just haven't. Our campaigns usually fizzle before 8th level. Usually. Tim says wish can be fun. I think it could be too. I'm cool with it. Paul says the PC also need an item worth 25,000 GP and burns a 9th level spell. Yeah, it's campaign disruptive, but they earned it at that point. Is gold that hard to get when you're that high in level? I mean, I feel like it's not. I mean, 25,000 gold sounds like a lot for a first level character, but when you're that tier and you've fought dragons and taken their hordes and you've got magic items you can sell and all that stuff, is 25,000 gold really that much? I don't think it is, personally. Also, most of my games, we don't use the material components. Somebody at this table, not me, doesn't like using them.
What? You trying to rat me out over here?
What do you think of material components?
Okay,
for spells?
So I get it if it's a really high if it's a really high level spell, I get that.
What about some of the lower spells like Chromatic Orb?
Is like if it's like a low level spell and you're like, oh, do you have a fig leaf and 1 emerald worth 5 gold pieces? And it's just like, shut up and let me play the stupid game.
So right, I think you're fine with that. So the reason it's there, I feel like, is it's to add flavor to roleplay. That's why you have the little fig leaf and whatever, because you can then roleplay it out. However, any spell that has something that costs money, like gold, diamonds, whatever, it's supposed to, no matter what, even if you have an arcane focus, you're supposed to give up the cost. And I think that's because they made those spells that use that either accessible at lower levels, but then you still have the cost, so there is still a reason you can get it at that low level. And to, continue to keep it balanced so you don't just spam it, right? I think that's why.
No, I think it just gives your wizard something to spend his gold on, because he doesn't have anything to spend gold on.
I think there was more thought. There was definitely more thought put into it than that. That's why Wish cost 25,000 gold. That's why reviving someone requires a diamond worth like 5,000 gold or whatever the hell it is. Tim says, that's a massive dragon. Good God. Have you placed a medium mini near it? We got one right behind here.
We could. We have not.
We have, but it's okay. We'll do it again.
She is the
size of his horn.
Size of his horn.
So they actually sell one size larger of this dragon. There is one a little bit. I actually wish I got that one, but it would have cost more to ship it. So they sent it to me for free, but I had to pay for shipping. It was worth it though, because this is a sweet one.
One size bigger.
Same
pose?
Yeah, you can have it open mouth or closed mouth. I like open mouth.
Yeah, that's better.
Paul says, had a Dick DM do that playering 3.5 where you could make rope trick last for 8 hours. Was the only way he could rest since the DM was a huge dick. See, yeah, that would suck to me. It's not fun for me. I'm just being honest. Nom 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 says, desert sand yellow maybe? Not mustard, in my honest opinion. So I like the it's kind of gray in the monster manual, but I kind of like it when it's more the mustard yellow, to be honest, on the chest plate. Like the bottom part of it.
We'll adjust the coloring as necessary
Paula's
to make sure
probably
going
to do what she wants. I'm sure.
I think there's going to be a little more gold in it.
That's fine. Tim says,
it look good.
Tim says, haven't in a bit due to current circumstances. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Been almost a year and a half now. Last players are 9th. That's Beckme levels. Oh, so that's been a long campaign to get to 9th level, probably. So players can't just keep spamming resurrection. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, hey, another character died. Here's resurrection. Like, I feel like the financial stuff, and that's why they're so adamant that no, you still need to do the financial cost of the spells, even when you have the arcane focus. Like, if you don't want to worry about material components, that's fine. But if it's got a material cost, you gotta use it. And that makes sense. It's kind of like in, what was it? Onward, when they had the jewel, and once it was out, they couldn't cast certain spells anymore.
Yeah, the only thing that sucks, though, is that if your DM doesn't give you a lot of gold, as a magic user, you can't cast a lot of your spells. However, as a fighter, as a barbarian, as everything else, you have full access to all of your abilities.
You say a lot of your spells. That's not true. Most spells don't have a material cost. Material cost means financial, not just it has a material component. It means like a diamond, gold, or something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying.
There's, again, not a lot of spells that have that. The ones I can think of offhand are Resurrection, Chromatic Orb, Wish. I know there's more, but yeah. Another one is Misty Step, or any kind of... I don't know if there's other teleportation. There probably is, but Misty Step can be frustrating too, because you can teleport 30 feet away, up in the air, wherever. And that basically allows you to leave, within range without provoking an attack of opportunity. It just makes things harder. It's kind of like when you guys did that, whatever that was, the hypnotic pattern or whatever you did to my Minotaurs that one time. And literally I'm standing there with 4 guys, not able to do anything for like an hour, and just waiting for you to hit them and kill them.
Oh yeah,
one by one.
That was really badass of me, wasn't it?
It was very cool as a one-time deal.
I saved the day.
That would be very frustrating if it was always happening to all my
yeah,
monsters.
But I didn't use it. Like, that was not an ability I used over and over again.
No, I'm not saying you did. Again.
Because most of the time, it's like, oh, this is not going to be super helpful.
Most spells are not a problem unless you have a player who spams them. That's kind of frustrating in general.
Yeah.
They don't do anything interesting because they always are doing the same thing. That's just annoying. But yeah, so Lehman's tiny hut, though, that was an 8-hour rest where nothing can hit you, nothing can see inside the hut. You can see out of it, though, but everyone can sleep. You don't need to keep watches or any of that stuff. That's just a frustrating spell in that regard. But again, they see the hut. They know something's there. If something approaches, it could just wait it out.
I don't know if you're going to get this.
That's fine.
This color, I think it's...
Goodberry?
I think it's clogged.
Okay, poke a hole in it.
You got a pin?
Yeah, I got pins out here.
Got a paper clip or something?
I got things. Chill.
Whoa, guys.
So...
Whoa. Yeah, we don't want that color. We want this color.
So Goodberry is one that people brought up, especially if you're trying to run more of a survival type of game where you need to keep track of your water and your rations, because one Goodberry will sustain you for one full day of rations and water. So again, it removes a whole element of the exploration pillar of the game. There's also other things that do that too, such as backgrounds that kind of ruin it. But, you know, I don't like automatic, like, hey, we're going to remove any threat of this. Even as a player, I don't like when something like that's going on. Tim says, run away, run away. Yeah, Misty Step's perfect for that. Paul Ross says, Dimension Door. Use it for battlefield control. Move PCs or monsters around the battlefield to attack better. You know, I've not had anyone use Dimension Door before. Sounds like I might be glad about that.
Could be. Probably.
I feel like I've been pretty lucky to not play with people that annoy me on purpose. Until I played with Chance, who tries to. He's like literally trying to. But it hasn't bothered me yet. Yeah, you teleport yourself from your current location to any other spot. Range is 500 feet. It is a 4th level spell, though, so it means they have to be 8th level. It can be a place you can see, one you can visualize, or one you can describe by stating distance and direction, such as 200 feet straight downward, or upward to the northwest. Okay. See, there you go. Use Arcane Eye and then just teleport to the treasure room with Dimension Door. Get the important things and Dimension Door your ass out of there. That shit would be annoying as a DM.
Yeah.
Well, there goes our session. You just did it in 10 minutes. So there you go, guys. Arcane Eye followed by Dimension Door into the treasure vault, and boom, get out. That's how you use it. If food and survival are going to be an important part of the campaign, then just remove it or make it at a higher level. Yes. So I am not someone who would want to do that. And I wouldn't want to remove it. I don't want to ban things from the game per se. But yes, if that's what I was going for, that is definitely a solution to that. 100% agree. Create food or water is another spell that kind of does the same deal. Zone of Truth.
People are aware, though, I think, of the Zone of Truth.
But they have to be honest, I think, the whole time, right?
Yeah, but people aren't usually very nice afterwards if, you know.
It lasts a long time. And they don't need to be nice if you get the information you needed.
Yeah, but you might need them to be nice.
It's only a 2nd level spell. It lasts 10 minutes. You create a magical zone that guards against deception in a 15-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range. Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time starts its turn there has to make a charisma save. On a failed save, a creature can't speak a deliberate lie while in the radius. You know, it's basically like the movie Liar Liar. Like he tries to say a lie, but he speaks the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
An infected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. Such a creature can be evasive in its answers as long as it remains within the boundaries of the truth. Again, I think these are all fine, but I'm just saying, could be, like if you were interrogating a guy or torturing him, Like, you're going to know real quick if he's being honest.
I mean, yeah.
And not just telling you what you want to hear. Legend lore was one somebody mentioned. I don't know this one. Is it like a magic item? You just touch it and it's a 5th level, so that means you have to be 10th level at least. Name or describe a person, place, or object. The spell brings to your mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named. The lore might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, or even secret lore that has never been widely known. Oh, so this could be frustrating if you did not come up with any lore about like a ring or something, and now you have to on the spot. I don't think that's bad. That's not bad at all. I actually love stuff like that. So no, for me, I would encourage people to do that. And hopefully I come up with something cool on the spot, right? Banishment. Yeah, banishment is what it is. I wrote banish. I think this one you just send them to another plane. They take a bunch of damage and come back, right? Concentration up to 1 minute. 4th level, so it means 8th level. You attempt to send one creature that you can see within range to another plane of existence. The target must succeed on a charisma save or be banished. If the target is native to the plane of existence you're on, you banish the target to a harmless demi-plane. While there, the target is incapacitated. The target remains there until the spell ends, which could be up to a minute. At which point the target reappears in the space it left or in the nearest unoccupied space if that space is occupied. If the target is native to a different plane, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's a big deal either, personally. Counterspell is fine. I think that's completely fine. And then, like I said, Arcane Eye, which is already on my list. They don't have to talk, though. Correct, Tim. But if they're being tortured and they're telling you stuff, and then you do Zone of Truth, and then all of a sudden they stop telling you stuff while you're torturing them, I mean, it's clear they were lying to you. That's all. It's basically a guaranteed either truth or nothing. No, you don't have to talk, Victor. They know the spell is put on them. Nom 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 says, Goodberry can be OP, but if survival is going to be part of the campaign, a ranger could or should be part of the party. Accomplish the same and allow for RP. Yeah, and even that stuff kind of bothers me. I hate the one where they can... Is it ranger or the Outlander background or whatever? One of them, it's automatic. They can forage for enough food and water for a party of up to like 8 people. I don't like that personally. I still think it should be left up to die rolls, but that's just me. Paul Ross says, my bard in the last game used that a lot. By a lot, the 2 times he could cast it. There were a few times he was an evac chopper for the fighter. Banish works good both ways. I've never seen anyone do banish to a friendly. But yeah, that could be good. I could see that being a good thing. Interesting. All right. But yeah, I think message can be frustrating as well.
You think so?
Yes. Being able to communicate without
Just because
audible.
people can communicate back and forth?
Yes. It just makes being stealthy easier. It's a spell that I think gets used a lot. And it's a cantrip, so it doesn't cost anything. Again, I like when certain things, like message, I would prefer if it was a 1st level spell. So it's not an automatic, hey, my wizard or my bard or whoever is always using it to keep in communication with our rogue. You know what I mean?
All of these other people.
Yeah. Like, it's just too easy, like, because it's a cantrip to just be like, all right, I'm talking to everybody and commanding them to do the different things that I want them to do. But yeah, I don't know. Mending is a cool spell. I like that spell. Prestidigitation. I did see somebody say that. I also saw somebody say thaumaturgy the other day. So I started this as a Twitter thing. I posted it. It started in my Discord because Josh brought it up and asked me because he thinks magic makes the game too easy, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, look okay.
Yeah, it looks fine. And then, so I posed the question to Twitter, got some answers. I also went and I did some research. I was watching some people's videos about some different spells that they think are problematic, which is why I'm going to do a video on this. I think it'll be a good video. But yeah, and they had stuff in there like polymorph and, you know, all the stuff that people break. They basically break encounters with.
I made my brother really mad with polymorph one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was this, like, I don't remember exactly, but there was, like, some sort of treasure hoard, you know, on the other side of some sort of, like, in front of us, there was some sort of indoor lake-like structure. And there were these pillars that you could jump from pillar to pillar to get across to this treasure hoard on the other side. And there's a row of pillars that go over and there's a row of pillars that go back. Once you jump on a pillar, it starts to descend into the water. So the idea is that some sort of player has to jump over, grab what they can, and jump back, right? But if you forget that you gave a character a polymorph potion and they polymorph into some sort of, you know, creature that can carry a lot of stuff, and they take their bag of holding over there with their fighter on their back and just jump across, fill up the bag of holding, and jump back. He was so mad. He was so mad.
But I mean, even just the bag of holding. I mean, you don't even need a big character or creature for that. Just take the bag of holding and boom. Right?
Yeah, I think there was a time limit though, maybe too.
Oh, okay.
There was some other stuff, but he was so mad because he hadn't really thought about it. And it was like a cavern he made a long time ago, and I was an extra character, so he forgot that he had given me this polymorph spell, and maybe we didn't have a bag of holding. I actually think we blew up the bag of holding because we put a portable hole in the bag of holding.
Probably. Paul says, or use message to make a NPC think he's going crazy. Yeah, I've had players do that. Tim D says polymorph self is highly underrated. I think it's I don't think it's underrated. I think people know how powerful it is, especially in 5e. It's definitely one of the more powerful spells. And it's only 4th level, so it's not that. It's stuff that most players will get to use at some point. Animal friendship, charm person. I think Bane's a good spell.
Bane is a really good spell. I've used that a couple times. And I think it's actually
doesn't it cause extra damage or something?
Pretty good spell.
I think it's like leads to extra damage or something. Up to 3 creatures of your choice that you can see within range must make charisma saves. Whenever a target that fails the saving throw makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, the target must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack roll or save. Oh, okay. It just makes them.
It's like a buff spell.
Yeah, it's a debuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it like buffs. Yeah, it buffs your.
Oh, here's one that bothers me a little bit. Comprehend languages.
Really? I feel like nobody ever uses that.
So, well, they don't. But when they do, it's the one time that you're like, oh, shit.
Because you didn't put anything together for it. Because
you purposely you purposely made it a language that none of the characters had. And then all of a sudden, yeah, that's one of them for sure. Detect magic kind of bothers me a little bit. The way it is. So I hate when people ask me what school of magic something is.
I need to know. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. By the book, because I feel like nobody actually plays it by the book.
Okay.
By the book, how are you supposed to identify a magical
Detect
item?
magic.
But like, how are you supposed to identify its properties? You're supposed to use it, or
So hang on.
identify spell, or like
you have to attune to it, so detect magic will tell you, I think. So it's a ritual spell too. So that's the other thing. So a cleric can do it. For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. Which I hate that part, because half the time I'm like, what freaking school of magic would it be in the first place? So that annoys me, because they always ask. Like, just it drives me bonkers.
I'm terrible with schools of magic.
Yeah, it sucks. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but it is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. So in other words, you could walk up to a magic chest and be able to tell if something magical is in it before opening it. Right?
Okay.
So yeah, the only other way that I know of, so that'll tell you the school. But, so here's the thing, if something's cursed, I mean, it doesn't tell you if it's cursed, you know? I believe there's an identify magic.
Yeah, there's
too.
identify spell. I'm just wondering, like, is it just you attune to it? Is that, like, by the book? Because sometimes
if you attune, you know what it can do.
You know, we don't always play by the book, or we're just kind of, like, rushing stuff or whatever, and it's like, I'm just going to tell you what it does.
I just tell you guys what it does.
You know, because, like, it just...
Identify. You choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. If it is a magic item or some other magic-imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, and how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. So if it was cursed, for example. If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. If you instead touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it. So basically, it's identify as a first level spell. So you would do both, is what you would do. So now you've used, but identify is a ritual spell too. So again, it's pointless to really even worry about, because your cleric's going to have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you're like, yeah, well, if you have magic items, you got to use the identify spell on it to know what it does. So then they're not even going to do the detect magic. They're just going to do the identify ritual and just touch everything. You know what I mean?
Well, unless you're
until it tells them.
Decide whether you want to, you know, open that chest or whatever.
Right. But yeah, either way, they're going to open it. It's a chest. What group doesn't open a chest?
I mean, it's valid, but maybe there's smart, cautious groups out there.
Maybe. Paul says the DM can give you a helm of comprehend languages and forgets that he gave it to you. Yeah. Equipping the item will give you the properties. Only if you're attuned to it, though. Or needs to be identified. A long rest to identify it, not magically. But again, I think you need to be attuned to it. Am I right? I'm pretty sure that's how it is. In order to tell what properties a magic item has, you need to attune to it or use these spells. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's the way it works.
I mean, that's what I thought the answer was, but I just feel like we don't play that way, so.
No, I hand wave the identify part.
I think this yellow's looking okay.
I think it's great.
Do you like the turquoise color in it that you?
Not really. It's looking kind of greenish. It's okay though.
It's gonna look fine.
It's okay. Disguise self could be an issue. Healing word, people have problems with. I don't.
You know what I think is sort of nuts?
I love how sleep works.
Is the healing ability that that druid that I play has. That's nuts.
What is its ability? I don't even remember.
Where I can cast is a healing word. I think it's healing word. 5 times per day or something like that.
Do you have a feat for it though?
Yeah, well, it's a special ability, like, so it's like a class ability or whatever, something like that.
It's basically a stay in the fight spell.
Yeah, like I can do it up to my like charisma modifier or something like that.
Right.
Per day, which just equates to 5 times per day, which just seems like a lot.
Right.
Because it is, but like that's the only way we're still alive. So I guess I'm not going to be too upset about it. But
Tim says there's a couple by the book ways. Usage is one. Yes, but that requires attunement. Because you can't use the magical properties of something that requires attunement until you're attuned to it. When your player picks up an intelligent sword and it starts to communicate to them, true. The player's looks are pretty awesome. Nom 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 says good yellow for the pose. Sun reflecting off the desert sand to the belly, blue sky above. Oh, there you go. Mm-hmm. Tim says a lot of the healing spells at low level are harsh. What do you mean by harsh? Like they're too good? Or do you mean they're not good enough? Speak with animals is a good one.
Yeah, but then if you try and speak with a plant, your DM's like, what are you doing? And like has to come up with what the plant's saying and gets kind of frustrated about it a little bit.
Why are you talking about your brother again?
I'm talking about you, homeboy.
When did I get mad about that?
You were like, you're gonna talk to the plant? Yeah, dude, I'm gonna talk to the plant.
I remember that. Did you have something that allowed you to? Is there a speak with plants under druids?
I think I have some sort of like
speak with animals.
I have some sort of
You have something that allows you to do something.
I have telepathy, and then I also have the ability to talk to all plants and animals.
Yeah, I didn't know how to react to that. My bad. Can you blame me? Come on. You wouldn't have taken a step back and been like, what?
I don't know. I mean...
Oh, you think they're weak? I don't think so. I think they're fine. Like Healing Word, the fact that you get that at first level and you can keep your party in the fight the whole time is amazing. And you don't have to be next to them.
It's a bonus action, too,
Yeah, so you can still do Sacred Flame the whole time.
You can still fight.
You can still do other things.
I messed that up.
On top of that, there's a feat that allows you to heal people with med packs without even using magic. So then you just use a medicine kit that has 10 uses, and boom, you got 10 bumps of HP there without ever having to get rid of a spell. I think healing is a little bit easy in 5e, which is fine. I don't mind that. I like more epic feeling games. The only thing I hate is when you completely remove any of the tools that a DM has to convey a certain feeling in the game. Whether it's gritty survival at times or, challenging them within encounters or whatever, giving them little traps. Like, I like the idea of mixing things up as a DM. And when I feel like I put thought into that, but I can't do it because I know a player has an ability or something that they're just going to trump it, that kind of sucks.
It's just, it would That's be all. Like just being against people who are min-maxing characters. That's all.
Not necessarily, because it's not about that.
If you're really like specialized in one thing, you're just gonna trump that ability every single time. That's really what you don't like.
No, because I don't try to trump anybody's ability every single time.
Okay.
So I like to try and share spotlight between the players, and I try to do things that highlight a player's abilities too at times. So for example, I've done that in games where I'm like, I know this player is good at X, but nobody else is. So I might set something up that's going to give them a chance to shine that is going to basically negate the other players being able to do that. And it would be a situation where, say, that player has never done well in combat for whatever reason. Like, here's an example. So we're playing Descent into Avernus. You have fire damage bonuses in Hell. Everything you fight is... not everything. A lot of things you fight are going to be either resistant or immune to fire. Right? So
I have
there,
a feat that bypasses that.
I understand that, but I'm trying. Go with my example here.
Okay. I'm going.
So now, pretend you get into all these fights, and all your spells are fire spells, and you just suck for the next 4 or 5 sessions, and other people do their little things and have their cool little moments. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, this session, I'm gonna throw an ice demon or something that I'm just pulling this out of my butt, but he does not have immunity or resistance to fire. However, he does against cold damage. And all of a sudden, the other players say they were doing cold damage the whole time because they knew they were in hell. They now aren't as effective. But you can go and deal double damage and cast Fireball and do 70 points of damage and kill the dude. There's your moment to shine kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then if another player were to go, as I set up this encounter, and just be like, oh, well, here's this spell, boom, dead. That would kind of suck. And it wouldn't bother me. But at the same time, I had spent that time to prep it around what I thought might give you a chance to shine. And you didn't get a chance to shine at all because the person before you ended up doing something different that completely wiped it out or completely trapped it or whatever. You know what I mean? That's all. Or they teleported you guys to somewhere else so you didn't have to fight it anymore at all. Even though you probably could have one-shotted it. You know, stuff like that. Again, it's all fine. It's just Speak with Plants is a 3rd level spell. Gotcha. It's just that it changes what you planned and what you thought. So I prep trying to get off a certain feel. Like I will go into a session and say, okay, this is how all the sessions have gone recently, and I might want to mix it up and have something that is a little bit harder for this character. And maybe it's easier for this character. And then when I go into it, if that doesn't happen because of whatever, it sometimes is like, well, that ruined that feel. You know? That's all.
Gotcha.
Imagine casting talk to... And I'm not someone who fudges rolls. I'm not someone who does that. I've talked to DMs. It's been a while since I talked to someone who did this. But if they wanted a tough encounter, they wouldn't write down hit points of their monster. They'd literally just play out combat until they felt like the monster should die.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't either. I don't fudge that stuff. So I would never do that.
Because that takes away your opportunity to potentially kill it quickly, too.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Because you came.
The only thing I've ever done.
Idea.
Yeah, the only thing I've ever done is if an encounter was really, really easy, I have had a second wave of monsters come in before. That's the only thing I've done. But I usually pull them from another area I've already planned.
Gotcha.
So you're still helping because now it's not in the other... Like in the Tyranny of Dragons thing. You guys were fighting in that one cavern. I kept pulling monsters from other areas.
Oh my gosh, we were dying left and right, though.
That's because you did rope trick.
No, I didn't.
Crank did, yeah. And you guys hid inside the dirt, remember? In that one room? Yeah, that was how that whole session went. And Pike dropped like 10 times. Imagine casting Talk to Plants and the treant standing next to you turns and says, "What's up?" I like to tailor my adventures around the group. Yeah, I do too. Definitely do. And I actually like it when we do modules and they get through things easy. Because then I get to just advance through the module quicker. Heat metal, that's one. Do it to the guards. Invisibility is kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but I don't think people use it a ton.
No, and you still have to worry about sound. You have to worry about what they're standing on. Like, they get advantage on their stealth and stuff, but it's not a guaranteed not to be seen necessarily.
Correct.
So Phantasmal Force, someone was talking about in a video. And it sounded very interesting. Let me read it. Phantasmal Force, a 2nd level illusion. Lasts up to a minute, up to 60 feet away. Verbal, semantic, and material. You craft an illusion that takes root in the mind of a creature that you can see within range. The target must make an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, you create a phantasmal object, creature, or other visible phenomenon of your choice that is no larger than a 10-foot cube, and that is perceivable only to the target for the duration. This spell has no effect on undead or constructs. The phantasm includes sound, temperature, and other stimuli, also evident only to the creature. The target can use its action to examine the phantasm with an intelligence investigation check against your spell save DC. If the check succeeds, the target realizes that the phantasm is an illusion and the spell ends. While a target is affected by the spell, the target treats the phantasm as if it were real. The target rationalizes any illogical outcomes from interacting with the phantasm. For example, a target attempting to walk across a phantasmal bridge that spans a chasm falls once it steps onto the bridge. If the target survives the fall, it still believes that the bridge exists and comes up with some other explanation for its fall. It was pushed, it slipped, or a strong wind might have knocked it off. An affected target is so convinced of the phantasm's reality that it can even take damage from the illusion. A phantasm created to appear as a creature can attack the target. Similarly, a phantasm created to appear as fire, a pool of acid, or lava can burn the target. Each round on your turn, the phantasm can deal 1d6 psychic damage to the target if it is in the phantasm's area or within 5 feet of the phantasm, provided that the illusion is of a creature or hazard that could logically deal damage, such as by attacking. The target perceives the damage as a type appropriate to the illusion. That is a 2nd level spell. So at 4th level, you can make anybody, no matter what, possibly believe there is a lava elemental in the middle of the tavern. And it can attack them.
I feel like they changed that
for
spell
a minute. I don't know. Possibly. Yeah, that is a strong spell.
Does anybody else feel like they changed that spell? Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's another really good one. And that is also a bard spell. See Invisibility is a good one. 3rd level spells. Dispel Magic is a good one. It was Hypnotic Pattern you used last time. That was the one that got me good. Leomund's Tiny Hut is a 3rd level bard spell. Speak with Dead is a good spell. But then it's like, oh, we killed the bad guy. That's okay. I got Speak with Dead. We can get the information we need. Hate that. Hate that so much. I like when I can keep information from you guys in my games. I really do. You know? Tongues. I think that makes so you can speak any language. Dimension Door at 4th level. I'm looking still. There's Modify Memory. That's probably pretty powerful.
That's got to be a high level spell because I don't think I've
it's
read
5th,
that one
so
before.
at 10th level you can do it. Eye Bite. Yeah, I don't know. Mass Suggestion. So yeah, there's a lot of spells I just need to go through and read in here. Just because. Get familiar with them. Teleport's a 7th level spell. Power Word Heal. Power Word Kill. Foresight, 9th level. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a ton of spells that can be frustrating, I think, when it comes down to it. And that's not to say you should ban them. I don't think people should. I just don't. But I do think, like you said, as a DM, you need to be prepared for what players might do. You know?
Yeah. I mean, well, especially if it's something that you know really bothers you.
Right.
if you're somebody who's bothered by some of these spells, then you should probably keep track of what your characters select.
But even
or
then,
what spells they chose that day.
But even then, are you going to completely alter what you do around it so they never get to use the spells they take?
No, because I think that's miserable too. But
Right.
it's just level setting expectations. Sometimes the thing that people realize that they really dislike is the fact that they weren't expecting it and they didn't know about it. And that's what they don't like. It's not the fact that somebody's using it, really. It's just the fact that they didn't realize that they could. You know? So then you expect it, and then it's not as big of a deal if somebody does come in and use it.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. So Nom 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 says, oh, before that, Tim said people do lop off a lot of heads for that spell, Phantasmal Force. We'll talk to him when we got time with Speak with Dead. Oh, the Speak with Dead deal, yeah. So then Speak with Dead is not supposed to work well against aggressors. If the party killed it, it will usually just be combative instead of honest. Tim says, I don't mind if my players surprise me. I do like that. Yeah, me too. I love when players add to the lore and everything. So, Speak with the Dead, 3rd level. Last 10 minutes. You grant the semblance of life and intelligence to a corpse of your choice within range, allowing it to answer the questions you pose. The corpse must still have a mouth and can't be undead. The spell fails if the corpse was the target of this spell within the last 10 days. Until the spell ends, you can ask the corpse up to 5 questions. The corpse only knows what it knew in life, including the languages it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, and repetitive, and the corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer if you are hostile to it or it recognizes you as an enemy. The spell doesn't return the creature's soul to its body, only its animating spirit. Thus, the corpse can't learn new information, doesn't comprehend anything that has happened since it died, and can't speculate about future events. Yeah, so it probably shouldn't, if you're the one that killed it, probably shouldn't talk to you, because it will identify you as an enemy. But yeah, I agree, Tim. That is what part of the game is. I love... So, you know what? Maybe that's what we talk about next time. We talk about things that we love our players doing.
Like, here's my favorite.
I will be adding that. It could be spells or it could be anything. What do you love that your players do in your games? Yeah, I've got a bunch of things I can talk about there too. It is 10:15, by the way.
Well, I'm finishing up this face really quick.
Okay.
Because I already have this paint together. And it just makes sense. Plus, I was started late, which is my fault.
That's fine.
Well, actually, it was the kids' fault.
You could have came out. Let them fight in their bed. Let them stay up. I'm fine with that.
Let them duke it out.
Yeah, I have no problem. It's summertime. It's not like they go to school. Let them be tired the next day. They just don't get to go to the park first thing in the morning. Like, who's really losing there? Not me. Being able to, like, wake up and, like, eat before they're begging to go to the park sounds like a great idea to me. Yeah, I think talking about things we like that players could do is a good idea. Yeah, we'll be on here for another couple minutes. But yeah, we're getting off here in a minute. I appreciate you guys stopping in, for sure. And if you guys have ideas for topics for us to discuss in upcoming streams, just let me know. I got a live stream topics document open right now that I can adjust and all that good stuff.
That you can modify.
Yup. So I told them at the start before you ever came out here. So I want to paint this, and then I want to get my sticker and put it on here like this. And then I want to do a clear coat over top of it so it's protected.
Yeah.
Yup. But I don't know what color to do the book. Maybe blue.
I would not do blue.
What would you do? Turquoise?
Black.
Black? You think that'd look good on black?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I want to make this, the sides here that are supposed to be pages, I want to make it like a parchment almost. I think that'd be cool. And then once I'm done with that, I want to get foam on the inside so I can separate out the different tokens for tactical tokens.
Mm-hmm.
And put that in there. And then call it good.
Yeah?
Yup. I think it'd be awesome.
I think that seems like a good idea. I thought you were going to do that tonight.
I was, but I got...
You got distracted
busy
with
in the
spells?
talking. Yeah, it was worth it. I don't know. Hand me the black. I'll start right now.
No, you don't have time.
There's always time.
Now there's not enough time.
I do like these little fake books. I think they're kind of cool.
Yeah?
Yup. And then I'll paint on the side. Master the game. Oops.
Don't break it. Jeez.
I'm not trying to. Actually, I shouldn't put it back there. I should put these back in it. I'm probably going to try and do a base coat tomorrow. At some point. Just be like, here's the black. Because I should be able to do that pretty quickly. Just get the big brush right here. But yeah, we're always open to discuss more topics that you guys are interested in. Paula's always like, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? And then when I come up with it, she never wants to talk about it.
That's not true. I just am not annoyed by spells. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you've done that with other things where you're like, I don't know about that topic either. It's like, well, then you come up with the damn topic. You tell us what
I'm
we're
not
talking
the
about
expert
tonight.
here. I'm just...
Oh, bullshit. You've been playing D&D specifically longer than I have.
I'm just here to paint miniatures.
Mm-hmm. And argue with me, apparently.
I mean, well, I'm an expert at that, for sure. You know?
Sure. Whatever you say.
I think this is looking pretty good.
Yeah, do you? You sure about that?
Yeah, don't you think so? Except for this chunk of blue that's really shiny that I don't like.
The dark blue? Oh, I think that's fine. I think that is fine.
Well, I don't like how it's shiny and nothing else. It's just so shiny. I don't know how it got like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird. I'm telling you.
Is it though?
I don't know. I think this guy's looking pretty good so far.
I think it's cool.
He looks very vibrant in the video.
Yes.
Slightly less vibrant in the real life.
I think it'll be fine, especially once it's on the shelf. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to see the difference of the back of its head that, you know, because it's not, that's going to be towards the back. Like, you're not going to see that all the time. You won't see it till it's on the table, about to kill you. And then you won't care what color, what shade of blue it is, and how shiny it was. You'll just be like, oh shit.
Oh crap.
Yep. There we go. I should probably send these to patrons. Don't you think? Would that be cool to send these to the patrons? Give them their own little D2. One side is a 20 side with my logo. One's a 1. Or we could do it with... See, I don't have a lot of those ones. Yeah, I've got one that does that. I have one that's mine on one side, one that's Paula's on the other side. But yeah, could definitely do something like that. Send these to people. I only have a few though, so it's not like I can just replace them. One side is a 1. One side's the 20. I love these, though. These are so cool. Tactical tokens, guys. Go check them out. They're awesome. Awesome.
All right.
Here's their site. Tactical tokens. It's their logo. And that's their logo. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you.
Well, now the whole thing's basically ruined, so just like throw it all away.
I'm sure it is. Oh, you want to throw it away? All right, we'll just buy the bigger one. This time we have to buy it, though.
All right.
Yeah, if you guys think of any cool topics, you can tell us in the comments below or let us know on Discord or Twitter or Facebook or any of that stuff, and I will happily try to discuss on our next stream. I'm probably going to have, let's see, tomorrow we got Pulp Cthulhu. Friday we have Pathfinder. Saturday, no game, right? Oh, wait, Friday is not Pathfinder this week. It's next week, correct?
Correct. There's no...
Yes, it's
there's
next
no
week.
game on Friday.
Or Saturday.
Saturday, there's also not a game. It's her daughter's birthday party.
But on Friday, I do have a stream with Joseph Carricker from Green Ronin Publishing. He is also the developer for Blue Rose. And then we also will be sitting at the same time talking to our DM of our Blue Rose campaign, because Joseph Carricker is going to be playing in that with us. So we're going to be talking about Blue Rose and our upcoming campaign. It's going to be 2 or 3 sessions. It's going to be a lot of fun using the Blue Rose system. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to giving it a shot. It's basically the same system that we use for Dragon Age. It's the same system as Fantasy Age, Modern Age, all those. And it's a good system. It's simple. It's just 3d6. One die is a different color. That's your stunt die. You get to do cool things if you roll doubles and succeed on your roll. You get to add to what you can do based on your points on your stunt die. So it's a really awesome game. So with that, though, we are going to go. I hope you guys love this dragon so far. I think it's looking cool. I do like it.
I think it's looking great.
Yeah, I think he's going to be pretty damn awesome when we're done. And yeah, we will see you guys next time. This is Master of the Game. I am Juice. Game on.